So in this video, we're continuing the Logic mixing series with this one being for Don Toliver. So the song that I'm going to be mixing today is called New Drop by Don Toliver. And basically, I already made this type of video just for FL Studio, but I didn't want to leave the Logic people out. So today we're going to be recreating it for Logic. So let's go ahead and jump into Logic and get started. Alright, so now that we're in Logic, I'm going to be showing you my recreation of the song New Drop. And then I'm going to be explaining how I got this sound and how you guys can also get this sound. So first things first is I'll go ahead and play it and then we'll dive into it. Got two girls in the cut and I don't know what to do. I fell in love with you. Two girls in the cut, which one to choose? I hit her like once, now she going snooze. So yeah, for this song New Drop, I think it sounds pretty close, pretty accurate. And as far as the project, basically I just downloaded the song and then I right clicked it, went down to processing, then I hit stem splitter, and then it gave me the stems. So as you can see, I have vocals, drums, bass, and then the melody. And then after that, I made sure to get the BPM, and I have the key. You can use the auto key for this, or they also have free alternatives online like TuneBat or a virtual DJ or things like those. But I will say auto key definitely gives me the most consistent results and it's a lot more accurate in my opinion. But next we can dive into the vocal chain. So basically once I got my instrumental all set up, I basically just imported my main vocals and my adlibs that I already recorded from my FL Studio session, and then I just transferred the vocal chain into Logic. So once I got my vocals in, I started out with Auto-Tune Pro. As you can see, I have pretty low return speed, a low humanize, and then the key is E minor, and then my input type is auto tenor. But for you guys, this might change because not everybody sounds good with this low return speed or this low humanize. So you might want more return speed, or you might want less, or you might want more humanize or less. And then also the input type is going to be dependent on your vocals. So if you have deep vocals, you probably want to use low male, or if you have very high pitch or you're a girl, you probably want soprano. Also, every single instrumental key is going to be different. So make sure you get the key of the instrumental and then adjust it accordingly. But after that, I'm moving on to a de-esser because I want to control those harsh E's and S's initially. And then I'm moving on to the meat of the vocals with a studio rack where I have a NS1, this is a noise suppressor. Take out the background noise. Then I have my first EQ, which is the Pro R, but you guys can use any EQ that you prefer. I just like the Pro Q as my choice. Then I'm moving on to my first compressor, which is the R compressor, just controlling those peaks. Then I'm moving on to my second EQ, which is the SL channel. This is an analog EQ. I'm using that to control the lows a bit more. But after that, I'm moving on to my second compressor, which is a CLA 76, great plugin for adding body. Then I'm moving on to a free plugin called the Fresh Air. It's a great plugin for adding mids and highs in a vocal. Then I have another de-esser to control those harsh E's and S's a bit more because previously we boosted a lot and there's probably going to be a lot more sibilants present. So you want to control those harsh E's and S's with a de-esser. And then I'm moving on to another important plugin, which is the C4. This is a multi-band compressor, just controlling those frequencies that don't need to be as present. And then after that, I'm using a doubler to give it some stereo separation, kind of like he had it on this song specifically. And then I'm using a PureTech to boost those highs. This is a great plugin for adding silk in the top end. Then I'm moving on to a R box to just control the vocal a bit more. Then I'm finishing it out with a chorus and a flanger just to give it some color. And then of course I'm sending this out to a reverb and delay. For my reverb, I'm using Pro R, but you guys can use any reverb you also prefer. Then my delay, I'm using H delay, and then I have some plugins to kind of spread it out basically. And this is what the main vocal sounds like soloed. Got two girls in the cut, and I don't know what to do. I fell in love with you. As you can hear, it's very spacey, it's very ambient. It was purposeful for this song and this instrumental, but that's going to be different for every single instrumental and every single artist. So I would play around with a few things like the chorus and the flanger and the doubler. Maybe you don't want those at all, or maybe you just want to lessen those, so just play around with that. As far as the adlibs, they're pretty much the same, except that I think I have a bit more chorus and a bit more flanger just to give it a bit more separation. And then I'm also panning it -10, so not that much. And that's pretty much it for this song. I guess I'll play before and after, and then I'll show you guys what it sounds like live. So this is before with no effects.
Got 2 girls in the cut, and I don't know what to do. I fell in love with you.
Oh my God, bro.
2 girls in the cut.
Yeah, sounds dreadful. So once we enable the plugins, this is what it sounds like.
Got 2 girls in the cut, and I don't know what to do. I fell in love with you.
2 girls in the cut, which one to choose? I hit her like once, now she going snooze. Hit that bitch for the front, hit that bitch for the bruise. Yeah, so next I'll show you guys what it sounds like live, and then we'll pretty much end it off there. So hitting this alright, ooh.